much. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Before I get to my speech, I just want to let you know that I'm so delighted that you're all here today. I just want to give you really a message from the heart. I came to this country 5 years ago, and I think it is the best choice that I ever made in my life to come and get to know the Philippines, to know its people, its generosity, its friendship, a country that is full of life, that is so rich in culture and tradition, and in every way, in everything, offers us so much as Europeans to learn from and take back home. And I found a special advocacy and passion for women and children here in the Philippines. Being a woman myself, I realized that it is my duty, I felt it to be my duty, to be able to reach out to communities in order to connect better with the people, in order to get to know their needs and help to promote them, help to address whatever challenges it is that they are having so that we can overcome this together. The past 5 years have not been easy anywhere in the globe, and for the Philippines even less so. I have traveled the country extensively. I have been to war-torn regions. I have been to the regions after the different typhoons that you've had. And I have been moved, and mostly I have been moved by the reception of the Filipino people, by their forthcoming nature, and by the fact that they have allowed us to reach out to them and to together hopefully make a difference. So coming back to the topic of women and children, we have been doing in the past 5 years as much as we have been able to do as a small embassy, I would say, all around the Philippines in all the different provinces. Our budget for the empowerment of girls and women, I would say under the umbrella, if you like, of human rights, but generally it was mostly for children and women, was tripled in the 5 years that I have been here. So from my ministry, they kept on realizing that we are reaching out to the communities, that there is an echo, that we are working very closely together with the government, so not only the private sector, the businesses, but with the public sector as well, with a huge support from all of the government agencies, I must say, at the highest level, that we are working very strongly with the civil society organizations, with the academia, with the schools, with the media, to raise awareness. So our task has been to raise awareness, to give the girls, to give the women who are disenfranchised, who have had hardships in their lives, to find a voice, to raise their voice and to make it heard, and to feel as very valuable components of their communities, and to pass whatever it is that they know that they have experienced, be it hardships, or be it skills that they have learned, to pass it on to their communities. So I just wanted to let you know that this is truly a mission of the heart of the Austrian Embassy. I will be leaving after 5 years, but Madeline Diolanda, our cultural, senior cultural attaché at the Austrian Embassy, is as much as an advocate as I am, has as much as a passion for this cause as I have, and I am sure that she will carry on the torch. And so once again, just thank you for being with us today. This is a beautiful, I would say, culmination, if you like, of my stay here and of the projects, of the many projects we've done in the Philippines to integrate women and girls. So now I'm going to start my speech. But now that was of the heart. So now comes the more factual, sober part of it. So again, Ms. Cecilia Obada, CEO and founder of Voice of the Free, a dear friend that has accompanied us and allowed us to accompany her in all the marvelous stuff that she's doing. Mr. Edgardo Baisic, officer in charge of the Intramuros administration, who has offered us his venue for this event and many other ones in the past. Thank you again for hosting us. Guests, friends, advocates and partners in the fight against human trafficking and sexual abuse of girls and children. Mabuhay. Again, I'm delighted really to welcome all of you this afternoon at the opening reception of We Stand as One, Glimpses of Hope Photovoice Exhibition in commemoration of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. So we've come together to shed light on a topic that concerns all of us, and truly each and every one of us, because it constitutes a grave violation of human rights, a degradation of human dignity, and our common humanity across the globe. And I'm talking obviously about the heinous crime of human trafficking and sexual exploitation. A crime, again, that is not only unique to the Philippines. Unfortunately, the Philippines, because of the socioeconomic structure, is somewhat more affected as some other countries. But again, not only unique to the Philippines, but a transnational challenge of growing dimensions that requires the attention of all of us. As Mrs. Silobanda said, of course, the situation was aggravated during the pandemic, but nonetheless, it has always been a challenge of a growing dimension. According to the UN, the human trafficking victims are detected and reported by 148 countries across the globe. And of these victims, 50% are trafficked for sexual exploitation, and about 40% for forced labor. And there are those who are particularly affected are women and children. Unfortunately, and the wonderful, courageous girls who have gone through this, and all the other victims know this, human trafficking takes on many forms. It involves the use of violence, manipulation, the false promise of education, of well-paying jobs, even romantic relations, involving boys and girls, to lure the boys and girls, men and women, recruit them and move them to other countries only to exploit them against their will. We, Austria, has been very active, as I mentioned, in the field of human rights, and we have carried out a number of very visible initiatives, particularly to empower women and children and to protect them from violence and exploitation. Already in the year 2004, the Austrian government established the Task Force on Combating Human Trafficking, and ever since then we've partnered with different organizations, with different governments, civil society, grassroots organizations all around the world to coordinate a comprehensive approach to protect victims. Now, as part of this overarching goal and as part of our commitment at the Austrian Embassy, we launched in 2021 this campaign, We Stand as One, Campaign Against Human Trafficking, as a year-long initiative in partnership with Voice of the Free, and following the UN 2021 theme, Victims' Voices Lead the Way. So our goal with this campaign is to raise public awareness for human trafficking and sexual exploitation through a number of events that focus on the survivors. We want to have the point of view of the survivors. We want to listen to them, because we feel that when they speak out, and it's not only others making the decisions for them, this is how we can achieve the best results. So we have reached out to a number of non-state actors and state actors at all levels to have this very efficient, victim-centered approach. So the number of events that we have carried out are really very extensive, very numerous. They've included interactive webinars, of course always with also experts from Austria, different fields, experts from different fields, expert seminars, panel discussions, film screenings even, and creative workshops. We have worked closely at the highest level, as I mentioned, Department of Tourism here, Department of Education, of Social Welfare, NBI, and civil society, academia, media. And today we are gathered here to celebrate the success of this campaign, culminating with a Photovoice exhibition titled Glimpses of the Future. Now, prior to this is one of in the many series of events that we have done in the framework of this exhibition, and one of them was also centered around healing, and the Austrian Embassy promoted musical education, if I may say, for the wonderful, wonderful girls at the Voice of the Free shelter, and we opened a musical room, a musical center, and at the Voice of the Free called Klangraum Austria, and are very proud of the fact that the girls have now learned to express themselves through music and heal in that way. And this is also one of the different projects within the whole exhibition, within the whole initiative. And what it is showing are the creative outputs of the survivors from the creative workshops that we carried out by the Austrian artist Alexandra Fustorfer, and our dear, dear artists with whom we've done many events also in the past, the Filipino artist Ralph Aya and Raymart Serene. They have been also on companions with a number of other projects in the human rights field, including in the LGBT field and sexual discrimination. So on the display you will see the instant photos that have been taken with Austrian lomography cameras by the victims and the survivors of human trafficking sheltered at the Center of Hope and ECPAT Philippines. The boys and girls of ECPAT Philippines are also here. And the captions are originally composed haikus expressing the hopes and dreams of the future of these victims. Also featured in the exhibition is another web exhibition by the Austrian Task Force on Human Trafficking, which I mentioned, and I would also ask you to look also and view that exhibition, and also view it through the displayed QR code. It will be on exhibit until the end of August. So allow me to take this opportunity to especially acknowledge the presence of the survivors and of all the advocates who are with us today. Again, thank you so much for lending us your voice. I have learned, I have been moved by all of you. I have learned so much. I have been inspired by your courage and your bravery in expressing who you are, and in order and simply in paving the way for so many others to be able to feel as important elements in society. So our dear partners, thank you for re-echoing the survivors' voices, for amplifying the message. Special thanks to the Intramuros administration once again for supporting our cause. Again, this campaign, I think, has been one of the most meaningful projects we've done in the last years, and it is a great example of how we as peoples, we as countries, we as nations can join forces for a global challenge. So allow me again to reiterate our commitment at the Austrian Embassy and of the Austrian government to combating human trafficking, and to underscore that we will always, Austria will always be with you, be with the Philippines, and stand with you as one in this advocacy. Again, thank you so much for coming. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat.